Before you watch this video, go check out one of my Discord mates and longtime viewers, Zach Packpunch. He's just made a channel and started posting zombie videos of his own. Go show him some love and that we support new and upcoming zombies content creators. Links in the description. It's always important to look at things as objectively as you can, and admit that while you may not like something or that it's not for you, something can still be of good quality. Now, this isn't what I would consider necessarily applicable to Black Ops 2's Grief mode. I never liked Grief. And the reason for that is because I just disliked the core concept of the mode. Zombies, as it was up to that point, was built on survival, a cooperative experience where you have to work with your teammates to survive. And while some public matches can get a bit chippy with who gets the wonder weapon first, everyone was on the same team. But Grief took that concept and turned it on its head, and I never cared for it. Again, I know that messing with and trying to get the other team killed is the point, but to me, it was just so opposite of how I think as a player. My intention when I play zombies isn't to one-up my teammates, or get more kills than them, or mess with them, but to work with them. And you could take that mentality and just look at it with your squad and pretend that the other team isn't actually players, but rather other obstacles, but I could just never do that. It always felt pathetic to me that, oh, you have to constantly shoot and knife me to try to get me downed because you know you can't win by attrition. So that's the major reason why I never enjoyed Grief, because I would never play like that. But also because the mode was so half-baked. They clearly had big ideas for this mode, but the execution was so mid. And the only real reason why so many remember it fondly is because what other mode allows you to play with 8 players in COD Zombies? Playing with friends always makes the experience better, so the more the merrier. But the core concept of the mode just was not thought through well at all, because just having one piece of meat that zombies get attracted to wasn't enough to make it seem dynamic. And the biggest problem was that with 8 players on these small maps, it gets boring, as there's just not enough zombies for everyone, and with eventually most players getting all their perks, the games would just last forever, and you'd be bored out of your mind with no zombies to shoot. It's either frustrating with some idiot harassing you, or boring with nothing going on. The only time Grief in BO2 ever had something going for it was Cell Block, and that's only because there was no jug. And there were traps, things you could use deliberately and intentionally to down the enemy team. It made it so the entire match was a constant close call and could be anyone's game. It made it feel like it had stakes. Again, it's not a mode I enjoyed, but this was a step in the right direction. Until Burrow came and ruined it. Again, so much open space, all the perks, and Pack-a-Punch, the games would just last forever, and it was agonizingly boring. Grief to me was just another reflection of the reality that every time COD tried to experiment with different modes with zombies, it just never had the same magic or replayability as the core mode. Because that core classic gameplay loop is why everyone got into zombies in the first place, and turning it into something that doesn't even resemble it and calling it COD Zombies just never sat right. Grief, at its core, was lame. I didn't like it, and it wasn't well designed. That changed with Black Ops 6. I still don't much care for the concept, but this is how you flesh out an old idea and make it function and work well. Grief in Bo6 does almost everything right from a design standpoint because it adds real dynamics to the mode and makes it feel like an actual competition against the other team, rather than just 8 players trying to out-survive each other. Here, there are objectives that if your team works together to win, you gain a big reward while the other team gets hit with a punishment. And what these challenges do is cause you to play differently or allocate certain jobs to each of your teammates. Like, one will have to upgrade their knives so they can win the melee challenges, One will have to hold on to their grenades so they can get the lethal challenge done. These things, on top of the fact that these small sections of maps for Grief actually make it difficult to survive, despite there being all the perks, works really well. It makes it so that you're always on your toes, like Cell Block tried to do. And the fact that the melee really knocks you back far, it makes it to where knifing while others are trying to revive their teammates is even more effective. And plan out when to shoot and slow the enemy team down, by doing it after you win a challenge and the game spawns massive amounts of bosses on the enemy squad. While I still at the core don't much care for Grief, especially how long the matches can go, I think that from the ground up, this is how the mode should have been. Because it works. It plays well for what the devs were going for. And while I may not be a fan of it, I can recognize that this is a well-made and fun mode. But of course, there had to be that one major issue, didn't there? Well, technically two. One, why can't you pick the Grief map? Why do I have a choice only between two locations the game picks and another random one? And most confusing of all, why can we not have an 8-player private match? This is just another reflection of how having the game always online, with no option for private lobbies, and only having the game be on Treyarch servers, is negatively affecting the game once again. How do you not allow 8 people to join one pre-game session so you can play against the friends you want to, and only have your friends on your team? It's just confusing. So again, Bo6 has a good idea, but these overarching problems drag it down in a way. I just hope that Activision or Treyarch will hear this criticism and allow us to actually have all 8 people we want in our game. And also, that they give us the option to pick the exact map that we want to grief on.